Hi, I'm Cheryl King from Mansfield, Texas, and today I'm going to be reading from my debut novel, Sitting on Top of the World. It is young adult historical fiction set during the Great Depression, and our main character is June Baker, and she has an older brother, Joseph. She calls him Josie. And June's family is struggling to survive during the Depression. Her mom has been sick with tuberculosis, and her dad had an unfortunate accident with an axe, so they can't keep up the farm anymore. And they're really struggling. So Josie goes train hopping to find work. And every few weeks or so, he brings money home to the family. And he has met two great guys out there on the rails, Charlie and Pate, who have been kind of taking care of him while he's out. But in the chapter that I'm about to read, Josie has been gone an awfully long time, and the family is really worried. And at this time, June is 14 years old and Josie is 18. And so here is chapter 16, What Happened to Josie. Daddy paces the front room, and me and Mama watch, our hands clasped together, knuckles white. "Tell me again what the man said," Mama says. "He said he heard Joseph got caught by a couple of mean railroad bulls," Daddy says for about the third time. "He may have been taken to jail somewhere out in Memphis, or it could have been up in Virginia, but he don't know that for sure. That's all the man said, honey, like I told you before." Mama's still not satisfied. "But how'd he know it was Joseph who got caught?" Daddy throws his hands up. "I don't know. Like I said, the fella said he was with two other men and one of them was colored." I stay silent and think about what this could mean. It's been almost a year since we seen Josie. If he ain't in jail, then I don't like to think about it, but he's probably, well, I'm just gonna hope he's in jail. Ain't no other explanation why he wouldn't have come home by now. But now Daddy's putting his coat and hat back on and announcing he's gonna go find Josie himself. And Mama's crying and begging and pulling on Daddy's arm. "Please, no, Daniel. You can't leave us to go on some wild goose chase." "This ain't a wild goose chase we're talking about. This is my son." "But Daniel, you don't have any idea where he is. Besides, we need you here. Please, please don't go, Daniel." I'm sobbing seeing my parents torn apart like this. And I want to find Josie as much as anybody, but I can't lose my daddy too. And I can't stand this crying and shouting no more. So I run out onto the porch into the cold and wish for all the pain and worry to go away. We spend the next 2 months watching and hoping and asking Mr. Clay every chance we get if he's heard anything. And every so often, me and Mama have to talk Daddy out of going out to search on his own. We done sold everything of value we had, and we finally gave in and ate all but one of our chickens, so now we hardly have any eggs. Broke my heart to do it, but we were getting desperate. The church ain't giving out as much food no more, so I might stand in that line half an hour to get one can of ham or one loaf of bread. At least we still got the milking cows, and I can sell a bottle of milk for the things I need to make Mama's cough syrup. A fat lot of good that cough syrup has done, though. Mama's still sick as a dog, and we've had Dr. Jameson come over at least 3 times, and he always says the same thing: get fresh air and plenty of exercise. And I just about want to chase him out of here and see how he does with fresh air and exercise. And this is the mood I'm in when me and Mama see a truck pull up at the end of the drive and 2 men hop out of the back. And it's too far away to tell what's going on, but we stand up and squint our eyes against the spring sun, and we see the 2 men are hauling something and hobbling toward us, and the truck turns around and rumbles off. "Daddy," I call as I start down the porch steps. "Someone's here, Daddy." And he comes out of the barn as I'm walking toward the 2 men, and as I get closer, I see one of the men's colored, and I know that has to be Pate, and the other one must be Charlie. And what's that they're holding on to in the middle? And I'm running now, and Daddy's running too, and we both get closer, and then I hear Daddy's wail and a high-pitched howl that must be me, because the closer we get, I can see that what the 2 men are holding on to is Josie, and he's beat up so bad he's hardly alive. They're half carrying, half dragging him, and he don't look like Josie. This can't be Josie. Josie, I cry, and I look up at Pate and Charlie, and they look stricken, damaged, robbed of life. And Charlie says, "The bulls got him." And Pate says, "He'll be all right, he'll be all right, he'll be all right." And he keeps saying that the whole way up to the porch and into the house and into Josie's room, where Mama's crying and shouting orders at the same time. "Lay him down right here. June, make some ginger tea and get the willow bark. Daniel, find some cheesecloth, flour bags, anything we can use for bandages and tourniquets. Charlie, will you take Molly to Maynardville and get Dr. Jameson? Pate, help him hitch Molly to the wagon." I bring the ginger tea and willow bark into Josie's room, spilling some as I rush. But then I stop and look at Josie's face, and I don't see how he'll be able to drink. Mama's sitting by his side, and she's cleaning his bloody face and dabbing on peroxide. And Daddy pushes Mama out of the way to open up Josie's shirt so they can see what other injuries he has. And I see nothing but red, black, and blue. And Josie's moaning, and all I can do is stand there and stare. Josie's right eye is swollen shut, dark blue and gray, and the left one is cloudy, staring sightlessly out at nothing. His nose is a big glob of blood, and his mouth is swollen, lip busted open, teeth missing. His hair is matted to his head, and there's blood on the pillow. There's just so much blood, and we don't know where it's all coming from. Pate brings in a bucket of fresh water and some towels, and I wonder at the sight of him because I'd forgotten he was here. I step back and let Mom and Daddy and Pate get Josie's bloody clothes off of him and clean him up, and I listen to him moan, and then I realize that I'm moaning too. Dr. Jameson's there next thing I know, and he gives Josie a shot of something for pain and an infection. But he leaves the house shaking his head and saying, "Sorry." And everybody's crying except for Pate, who's saying, "He'll be all right, he'll be all right, he'll be all," until the tears start choking him too. That night we all sit around Josie's bed, just staring at him and talking to him in hushed voices like we're afraid to wake him. And one by one the others leave to go to bed. But I stay there, because there ain't no way I'm leaving Josie's side, not ever. Josie sleeps the whole next day, and Mom and Daddy take turns checking his pulse and his breathing, just to make sure. We all sit around and tell stories, every once in a while saying, "You remember that, Josie?" Like we think he's gonna answer. And we're saying, "You remember, don't you, Josie? Right, Josie? Come on, Josie," until we're practically begging him to say something. And it gets to be so depressing I can't hardly stand to be in there, but can't stand the thought of leaving neither. Then the third day, he makes some grunting noises like he's trying to talk. And we all take that as a real good sign, so we're smiling through our tears and patting him and trying to feed him some soup and tea, but he won't take nothing. And that night, when everyone else has gone to bed, and I'm sitting there beside Josie, resting my head on the mattress next to his shoulder, he grunts. It startles me, and I look up at him, and he's got his head turned, and he's looking at me with his one good eye, the one that ain't clouded over, looking me right in the eye, and I look at his eyes that don't look like mine no more, and he whispers, "Junie." It's hard to understand him because his mouth is all busted up, and he's weak, so weak, but I know he said my name. I lean closer to him, my ear right up next to his mouth so I can hear him, and he rasps, "Take care of Mom and Daddy." And then he ain't breathing no more. Chapter 17, Under the Pawpaw Trees. Take care of Mama and Daddy, Josie's last words. But how can I take care of Mom and Daddy when I can't get rid of the vision of Daddy's knees buckling and him falling to the floor grasping at air, and Mama throwing herself on top of Josie and kissing his bruised and damaged face all night long? And they sat on the edges of his bed, sprawled out over him, like they could breathe their own air into him and he'd wake up. Now they're arguing about where to bury him. Pate and Charlie have gone to get Pastor Klein, and Mom and Daddy have to decide. And Mama thinks they should take him to the cemetery by the church for a proper burial. And Daddy thinks he should be buried here on the farm, so we have him with us forever. So then Mama's saying, what about over by the creek? And Daddy says, no, that's no good. How about right out front? And Mama says, that's not private enough. And on they go. The pawpaw trees. My mouth is dry and my throat's sore from crying so much that when I speak, noise barely comes out. Mama and Daddy turn and look at me, their faces confused, like they've never seen me before. What? Mama whispers. The pawpaw trees. That was his favorite place. I drop my eyes and force the words out. We should bury him there. Pastor Klein brings Mr. McAfee and Mr. Clay with them, and they help carry the box they're going to put Josie in. A pine box for my Josie. Then they go and dig the hole while me and Mama sit in the kitchen table and stare at nothing. Take care, Mom and Daddy. Want some tea, Mama? It's a long time before she answers me, and I think maybe she didn't hear me. She just shakes her head, barely moving. I notice she hasn't been coughing too much, but I need to fill the silence with something, so I ask, can I get you some cough syrup? Another almost imperceptible shake of the head. They come and tell us when they're ready. I don't watch when they put Josie in the box. I hide in my bedroom, pretending to get ready. But how do you get ready to bury your favorite person in the whole world? So I'm just standing there looking out the window. I can see the pawpaw trees from here. The only difference now is the big mound of dirt that don't belong. Then everybody starts filing out of the house. Daddy, Mama, Pate, Charlie, Pastor Klein, Mr. McAfee, Mr. Clay. I peer into Josie's bedroom as though maybe this was all a bad dream and he's really in there resting after a hard day of work on the farm. And he'd look at me and wink and ask if I want to play marbles. Marbles! I run to the hutch in the kitchen and open the bottom right cabinet door and grab our jar of marbles. I open it and dip my hand in, fingers playing in the cool, slick smoothness. The purple ones Josie gave me for my 12th birthday are right on top. I take one out and put it in my pocket, then close the jar. The jar will go with Josie, because I don't think I could ever look at this jar of marbles again, knowing he's not here to play with me. It's cool outside, Mother Nature deciding between the crispness of winter and the fragrant dampness of spring. I don't look when I place the jar of marbles in the crook of Josie's right arm. I close my eyes and imagine the Josie I knew before, the tough and strong and gentle and kind one, the one I will always see when I think of him, not the one beaten and battered by railroad bulls. Mom and Daddy both lay a flower on Josie's chest, and then Pastor Klein closes the box, and all the men help lower the box into the ground. All the men except Daddy. Daddy's down on one knee, head sunken, trying to hold himself together. And Mama's got her arms wrapped around his shoulders, trying to hold him together too. Practically the whole town comes to pay their respects, even the ones scared of catching Mama's tuberculosis. They bring casseroles and stews and homemade bread, and it's funny how a whole town that's been starving and standing in line for free food can come together like this for people that's suffering. I welcome the distraction, because greeting people and carrying their dishes and gifts leaves me no time to sit with my sorrow. Everyone I know and some people I don't know come to visit, everyone except Margaret Ann, and that hurts almost as much as seeing Josie buried in the ground in a pine box. Mama don't seem to notice, but then again, she's hardly alive herself right now, not because of the tuberculosis, but because of the grief. We live on donated food for a few days, but mostly we just sleep or sit and stare at nothing. No cleaning, cooking, or washing's getting done. Poor Miss Priss is so full of milk, she about lets me have it when I finally go into the barn to milk her. It takes me nearly half an hour to milk both cows, and it's awfully quiet in the barn. So I do a lot of thinking, mostly about how to fulfill Josie's dying wish. think about his words constantly in the days that pass in a haze of tears. I can't think of any way I can take care of Mom and Daddy other than to do the chores the best I can. But I'm having such trouble getting out of bed to make myself do anything. I ain't had a bath in I don't know how long. How can I take care of Mom and Daddy when I can't even take care of myself? It don't take me long to figure out that what they need